Good evening, folks. The microphones are on, the cameras are rolling. A very warm good evening to you all for tonight's City Council meeting and immediately thereafter, the Committee of the Whole meeting. We begin our City Council meetings by asking our City Clerk to please take the roll call.
Bowery?
Here.
Maliki?
Here.
Furnish?
Here.
Kilber?
Here.
Kosrock?
Here.
Reineke?
Here.
Marks?
Here.
Mayor?
Here.
Paschke?
Here.
Palmquist?
Here.
We're going to meet two individuals in just a moment, but I want to ask each, Brandon and, timeout, Emily, yes. I thought I was going to screw that up, sorry, to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sure. Yeah. I hadn't checked my notes.
Our first order of business tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is item 3, a public hearing and special items and presentations. But, one moment, please. As I was stating, item 3A is a public hearing on the proposed establishment of the City of Geneva's Special Service Area Number 37, Geneva Crossings, and the levy of taxes on property within the Special Services Area for the purpose of paying the costs of providing electrical infrastructure for such special service area. This is a motion to open the public hearing. Bowery makes the motion to open the public hearing. Kosrock makes the second. It's sufficient for a roll call to open the public hearing. Do you want a voice vote? Voice vote is sufficient. All in favor of opening the public hearing, please say aye. Aye. The public hearing is now open for anyone who wishes to address this topic, share information about it, ask questions. Without objection, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Bowery makes the motion to close the public hearing, seconded by Kosrock. Voice vote is sufficient. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. The public hearing is closed. Okay, Zach and Jordan, you ready? We're going to go alphabetical order. Emily, you get a break here. Brandon, we have the pleasure tonight, folks, of introducing you to two new staff members. And this guy, Brandon, pronounce your last name for me.
It's Moy.
Moy, got it.
Yeah, it looks like M-O-Y.
Yeah.
Instead of M-U-Y, so
It sure
that
does,
helps.
man. Okay, Brandon Moy, building inspector.
Building inspector.
And you got the whole family with you.
I do. I brought them all down so you guys can meet them.
Well, it's awesome.
I know.
Did we hire all four? Or do you want to introduce your family, Brandon?
Yeah. So I'm here with my wife, Christina. My oldest, Zachary, he's 4. And Jordan over here, he's 3. Or he will be 3 in like 15 days, so.
Okay, so it's coming, because you
It's
introduced him as 2, but almost 3.
Almost 3, I always say that.
So in 15
yeah.
days?
15 days is what, his birthday is July 27th?
Thanks for double checking that, Dad.
Yeah.
That was a good,
Well, you know, the dad never knows these things. Like when you go to the doctor by yourself, you never know when the kid's birthday is.
I would recommend you don't do that.
Yeah.
Worked for the beautiful village of, this is small world time, okay? Bensonville.
Yes, Bensonville. Yeah, so I was a code compliance officer over in Bensonville for a little over 2 years.
My partner Amy grew up in Bensonville,
Okay.
and her father was on the city council way back when,
Yeah.
before airplanes.
Wow, okay. That was way back.
Hope he's not watching. You live in beautiful South Elgin with the family we just had the pleasure of meeting. Your hobbies include enjoying the outdoors, camping and hiking. Where do you camp and hike?
Where don't we go?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
The whole gang
well,
goes?
Me and Christina went all the way to Yellowstone. Yeah, when we first met, we like went all we took a road trip in my pickup truck. We slept in the back of the pickup truck for like 15 days.
This is PK, right? Pre-kids?
Oh yeah, pre-kids
Okay.
for sure. You can't fit all four
Just
of us
wanted to
in the back of that
clarify in
truck.
case, you know.
Yeah, so we went up to Yellowstone, Colorado, Badlands in South Dakota.
Have you always liked the outdoors and doing that kind of stuff?
You know, it was really when I met Christina was when I, you know,
Ah.
definitely more outdoorsy than I was. Now we're kind of like at an equal playing field, so.
Because she no longer enjoys the outdoors with you, or is it
She got me definitely in love with the outdoors, for sure.
fantastic?
Yeah.
You also are a DIY home project and remodeling kind of guy.
Absolutely, you have to be.
So you do it all.
I try.
And is part of that trying in your home in South Elgin always filing for a permit?
You know what? Not always, but.
Oh, this is, I'm texting Mayor Ward right
I
now.
know, right?
Yeah. So what's your specialty in terms of the DIY?
You know what? I love working on vehicles, automobiles.
Oh, you do?
I have a pickup truck. I love working on that thing. Mostly because I can't afford for someone else to do it.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
know, so
What kind of truck do you drive?
I have a Tacoma.
Is it newer?
It's 21, so it's like
Oh, okay.
4 years old now.
So it still should be operating well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hopefully a long, long time. You know.
Yeah,
so
no kidding, man.
yeah,
Because what truck or what vehicle do you drive here?
on Tacoma.
You drive a Tacoma.
I drive a Tacoma. Yeah, Toyota. I came from a full-size truck. I had a Silverado, and then I went to a Tacoma.
You scaled back.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it would be a better, and then we bought the truck before we had kids, and now I'm like wishing we had gone back because of space, you know. Once the kids grow up to be a little bigger, it's gonna be hard to cram them in the back of that mid-sized truck. So,
Just put them in the back.
I know, right. We'll put, the back of the
Yeah,
like
the
the
back
bed
of
of the
the
truck. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. but
I was
obviously-
trying to tell Christina we should do that with the dogs, but she's never convinced, so.
You have dogs at home too?
Oh, I have 2 dogs.
Two dogs, and their names are?
Axel and Boone. They're both rescue dogs.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. What kind of dogs are they?
So Boone's a coonhound, black and tan coonhound, and then Axel's like a pointer mix.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
where did you grow up?
Mount Prospect.
You did, okay.
Yep.
And is it inappropriate to ask, how did Christina, the outdoors lady, meet the guy who does DIY?
We met through mutual friends.
Are they still friends?
Yeah,
Are they still?
they are. Yes, yes,
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, busy life at home with 2 kids, 2 dogs.
yes. Very too busy, you know.
Yeah, I know. And now a new gig at the City of Geneva.
Yes, but
And
it's
so far, so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Doesn't feel like I'm coming to work.
Who told you to say that? Was that Byrne? Or DeGroot?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that
And
one.
how long you been on board, Brendan?
Man, like a little over a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving it too. So
So right in the thick of it.
I know.
It's a
yeah.
busy time.
It is a busy time, but you know, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's good to be
Anything else
busy.
you want to share with us about you, the family, your
I think
career?
that's- I kind of think that's it. But
Now, were you commuting from South Elgin to Bensonville?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and with the kids too, because they went to
You brought them to
daycare.
work?
They went to daycare in Bentonville,
Oh, my
and you know,
gosh,
finding daycare it's hard.
that's a hike.
Oh yeah, for sure. I felt bad for the kids because they were stuck in the car with me for 45 minutes there, an hour back home every day.
Wow.
For like a year, because prior to that they were actually in St. Charles
Okay.
with a babysitter. So
Wow.
Yeah.
We're delighted to have you so close to home as well. That's important.
appreciate it. Yeah, glad to be here. So
Anything from the council for our friend Brendan? Yeah, welcome
thank you.
aboard.
Appreciate it.
We're glad you're here,
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
and you're all invited any time. So, especially Zach.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. Emily,
Hello.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
Emily Stood, Preservation Planner, hired on June 9th. Recent graduate, this is cool, I'm going to ask you a trivia question, hopefully you know the answer to it.
I'll try.
A recent graduate from Tulane University with a Master of Science in Historic Preservation, received a Bachelor of Arts in Architectural Studies from Kent State. Beautiful Ohio. Wow. Tulane University is known for many things, many, many things. What is one of the things that it's known for? Maybe Dean probably knows this. But very good. Green Wave is the nickname of the school. And why is that so unique? No, no. It's one of the few universities or colleges that have a nickname that does not end with an S.
Oh,
Did you know that?
no, I did not.
There you go. What do you think of that?
Honestly, we normally say green waves down there.
Well,
so
that's, well, and it's, by
people
the way,
need
it's
to be
also,
corrected.
and it's also called Jewel, not Jules.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's no S on Meyer. Grew up in beautiful Lamont. Now, did you go to high school there?
Yes.
When you went to Lamont High School, what was the nickname?
Well, now we're not named anything, but when I was there, we were the Indians,
And before that, it was,
the Injuns, which is not a nice word.
isn't that something? Oof. Lamont's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
The rock and the, oh my God, it's gorgeous. You worked previously with the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation, National Park Service. Wow. Midwest Region Office, Napier Settlement, big fan, and American Planning Association Urban Design and Preservation Division.
Yep.
When you were with the APA, where were you located?
That was a remote position.
It was, okay.
Yeah, because we call in from all over the country.
Right. Wow. You enjoy traveling? Ooh, Brendan, spending time outdoors. There you go, man. You do not like children, that's what it says here. Sorry, Brendan, we get, working on various projects. Okay, explain that, various projects. What are you working on?
Lots of stuff. I like to sew, I like to do woodworking, I do stained glass.
What?
Basically anything that people would have done in the buildings that I take care of, I
Yeah.
also like to do as a hobby.
Have you been down to the store just north here on 31?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God, it's a sewing store.
Oh,
It's
I'll have to
extraordinary.
go.
They just got ranked, I believe, as one of the top 25 businesses in their industry.
Wow,
Yeah, they just posted it on their Instagram. Really cool.
wow.
Really cool. And they're having a ribbon cutting soon, too.
Oh,
So you should go to that.
that's exciting, yeah.
Yeah. When's the ribbon cutting again, guys? They left. It's coming up. I'll share it with you.
Great,
And stained glass is an art and a science.
yeah. That's
How did
for
you
sure.
fall into that?
My grandfather did it as a hobby, and he taught us all.
No kidding. And your grandfather was from,
Hometown, Illinois, which is right by Oak Lawn.
oh, wow.
It's a very small town.
Do a lot of his works rest in buildings and churches and,
He did it mostly as a kind of a casual hobby with
Okay.
like decorational seasonal stuff. But he did a lot of the work on his church. When they needed new windows, he would go over and fix it up.
that's pretty cool. And you, of course, the old days, you actually used lead
Yeah.
in the stained window. What do you use now?
We just use solder.
Just good old
There's like
solder.
a tape that you put on, and then you solder over the tape. And it works the same, except you don't get lead poisoning.
Well, you know, that's a trade-off. It's certainly a trade-off. And what else?
What else? I
Now,
don't-
you're commuting from Lamont, aren't you?
Right now, yeah.
Wow. We
So-
talked about this the first day when we were shooting the
Yeah.
bull.
Yeah.
You take all the back roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying tolls right now.
No, I don't blame you. What's the commute, like an hour?
Hour here, hour and a half-ish back.
Wow.
It'll be shorter tonight because it's later, but
Yeah, we're gonna keep you actually till 9, so it should be really short. So. What else should we know about you, Emily?
I don't know. I'm excited to be here. I've had a great time so far, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So,
You've got a meeting under your belt already. That was flawless,
yeah, well, Jesse helped, so
Yeah.
of course it was.
of course. Well, Jesse's very talented too, so you're lucky. Anything else from the council for Emily? Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you guys are free to sneak out if you need to, so. Yeah, or stay, or leave the kids. Okay, folks, as we move on, and thank you again to Emily and Brandon, item 4 is amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments this evening? Item 5 is the omnibus agenda. All items marked on this agenda with an asterisk are considered to be routine by this council. Those items can be considered and voted upon with one motion. Is there a motion? Motion by Paschke, seconded by Maliki. City Clerk, please take the roll.
Paschke?
Aye.
Palmquist? Bowering?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kaczmarek?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
The omnibus agenda has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 alderpersons absent. We jump to item number 9, which is all under consent, so we jump to item number 8. Forgive me, everyone jump in, thank you. Municipal bills for payment. We kindly ask our city clerk, who is the only one not to correct me, to read the bills in their aggregate.
Municipal bills for payment total $2,104,103.09.
Mayor, I move that we pay the bills as read, the individual items for which can be found in tonight's city council packet on the city's website.
Alderperson Bowering makes the motion to pay the bills as presented, which are available in each council member's packet and available on the city's website. Is there a second? Seconded by Paschke. City Clerk.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kaczmarek?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
The bills have been approved by this council with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 alderpersons absent, and those will be paid within the calendar year. Item 10, presentation of ordinances, resolutions, and other items. 10A is to consider ordinance 2025-73. Grant,
You missed one. Didn't have it.
one moment, folks, we have a slight discrepancy on the agenda here. Okay, just a numerical error. It's ordinance 2025-14, granting variations to reduce the north side yard setback from 5 feet to 0 feet for a proposed driveway expansion located at 21 North 6th Street.
So moved.
Motion by Paschke, seconded by Maliki. Ms. Dawkins, preamble.
Okay, so the subject property is improved with a two-story office fronting North Sixth Street, a driveway large enough to fit one car along the north end of the site, and a rear yard detached garage that includes a second-story, one-bedroom dwelling unit. The property is located in the DRSCM residentially scaled commercial mixed-use zoning district, which allows for dwelling units above the ground floor as a permitted use, so long as the parking requirements are met. The garage and dwelling unit were constructed in 2024, but occupancy of the dwelling unit cannot occur until one additional off-street parking space is provided. To meet the parking requirement, the applicant is proposing a 20-foot driveway extension. The proposed extension would maintain the existing driveway's non-conforming setback of 0 feet, and therefore the applicant is seeking approval of the following requests. 1, a variation from section 11-4A10 to reduce the north side yard setback from 5 feet to 0 feet. And 2, a variation from section 11-11A3B1B to reduce the north side yard setback from 5 feet to 0 feet. At the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on June 26th, the commission unanimously recommended the city council approve the requested variations. With us this evening, we do have Director DeGroot, and a representative from the applicant is also here if you have any additional questions.
From the dais, any questions for the director and/or the applicant, or representative there too? Alderperson Reineke, Alderperson Bowering.
In looking through the packet, were there any concerns or complaints from neighbors about this shift in this variance?
I see Director DeGroot shaking his head no.
No, there was not. I don't think anyone else in attendance at the hearing.
Thank you. Alderperson Bowering.
This is just a comment. I'm just pleased to see an accessory dwelling unit going in. I hope that the changes we made will accelerate other folks taking advantage of this if it suits their needs and desires. So, thank you.
Anyone else? If not, we have a motion. Oh, excuse me. Alderperson Maliki.
The garage is already built, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is for storage, basically?
The bottom, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering, looking at the site plan, trying to figure out how they pull in if they were gonna park in it or not, but that was my assumption, so, that's it, thanks.
Anyone else? We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reinecke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
With a vote of 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 older persons absent, ordinance 2025-14 has been approved. We move to item 10B, which is consider resolution 2025-73, restating and extending site plan approval granted by ordinance 2024-25 for a parking lot located at 230 East State Street, otherwise known as Coldwell Banker. Motion by Kasserag, seconded by Bowering. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so in July 2024, the City Council approved ordinance 2024-25, granting a variation from section 11-4A-11 to allow a parking lot and entrance along East State Street. Also, relief from the standards and specifications for the City of Geneva East State Street corridor ornamental lighting area to allow for 2 Cobra-style light fixtures, and a site plan approval for the proposed parking lot located at 230 East State Street. The Geneva zoning ordinance allows site plan approval to be effective for 1 year unless a building permit has been issued and construction has commenced. The owner has submitted a request to restate the previous approval and to extend the deadline to obtain building permits and begin construction by another year. With us this evening, I believe we have Donna McQuaid on behalf of Coldwell Banker and also Director DeGroot, who would be happy to answer any additional questions you may have.
From the dais, are there any questions for Director DeGroot or Ms. McQuaid? Seeing none, sensing none. On the matter of resolution 2025-73, City Clerk, please take the roll.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reinecke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Resolution 2025-73 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 older persons absent. Item 10C, consider resolution 2025-74, approving a supplemental agreement number 25-01 with Stanley Consulting Incorporated for professional services for Geneva Southeast Development Substation and Distribution Feeders Project. Motion. Mayor makes the motion. Bowering makes the second. Dawkins, the floor is yours.
Okay, so the City of Geneva entered into a professional services agreement with Stanley Consultants for design, bidding, and project management service substation construction to serve the Southeast Master Plan area in 2014. The agreement was amended via a supplemental agreement to include design, bidding, and project management for the 12 kV line feeders for the area in 2018 via a change order in 2022 and 2024, largely due to long planning period of the project. The supplemental agreement for your consideration is needed to finish both projects. These changes have been brought about due to the larger than expected number of submission reviews and increased timeline from the original agreement. Stanley has been performing well on both projects, and staff anticipates this to be the final amendment. We do have with us this evening Superintendent Holton, who would be happy to answer any additional questions.
From the dais, are there any questions for the superintendent, Mr. Holton? Seeing none and sensing none, I kindly ask our city clerk to take the roll call on resolution 2025-74.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reinecke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 2025-74 has been approved with 10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 alderpersons absent. Item 10D, consider resolution 2025-75, authorizing the issuance of a certificate of acceptance for Stonewood Glen subdivision. Bowering makes the motion. Mayor makes the second. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so for your consideration is the certificate of acceptance for the installation of the final piece of sidewalk for the public improvements related to the Stonewood Glen subdivision. A recent site review by staff confirmed that all of the referenced improvements are acceptable. With this COA, the remaining balance of the letter of credit supplied by the developer can be released. With us this evening, we do have Assistant Public Works Director Landers, who can answer any additional questions.
From the dais, are there any questions for Assistant Public Works Director Landers? Seeing none and sensing none, City Clerk, please take the roll on Resolution 2025-74.
Bowering. Aye. Furnish.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye for 2025-75, I believe.
That's correct.
Kasserag.
Aye.
Maliki.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
Mayor. Aye. Palmquist.
Aye.
Paschke.
Aye.
Reinecke.
Aye.
On Resolution 2025-75, the votes are 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 older persons absent. We jump to item 10E, which is consider Resolution 2025-76, authorizing surplus declaration and disposal of certain public works equipment. Kilberg makes the motion, Palmquist makes the second. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so the request for council consideration is that one lot of public works equipment that is obsolete, at end of life, broken, or otherwise not usable be declared surplus and authorize its disposal as appropriate. With us this evening, we do have Superintendent Javed with us, who can answer any additional questions.
Questions from the dais for the superintendent? None? City Clerk, please take the roll on 2025-76.
Kilberg.
Kilberg, aye.
Kasserag.
Aye.
Maliki.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
Mayor.
Aye.
Palmquist.
Aye.
Paschke.
Aye.
Reinecke.
Aye.
Bowering.
Aye.
Furnish.
Aye.
10 affirmative votes, 0 nay votes, and 0 older persons absent. Therefore, Resolution 2025-76 has been approved. Item F, consider ordinance 2025-15, amending Title I, Administrative, Chapter 9, Municipal Taxes of the Geneva City Code pertaining to the imposition of a municipal grocery retailer's occupation tax and municipal grocery service occupation tax. Kasserag makes the motion, seconded by Paschke. Ms. Dawkins.
Okay, so the state of Illinois repealed the 1% state grocery sales tax effective January 1st, 2026. To mitigate the loss of revenue to local governments, the state concurrently authorized municipalities to impose a local 1% grocery sales tax. The proposed ordinance seeks to implement this local tax to maintain vital revenue currently supporting the city's general fund. At the city's special committee of the whole meeting on June 7th, staff outlined the potential revenue impact, give or take $700,000, and shopping data that revealed approximately 60% of grocery store visits originate from customers outside the 60134 zip code, suggesting that a significant portion of the tax burden would be shared by non-residents. With us this evening is Finance Director Maluski, if you have any additional questions.
Are there any questions for the dais for Finance Director Maluski? Alderperson Kilburn.
Just a comment. As she'd mentioned, this was discussed at our special council meeting a few weeks ago. So there was discussion amongst the council, and this is a situation where the state has offloaded this back onto the municipality. It's important for us to preserve these revenues, which are critical to the city's budget. So again, if there isn't any other comments, I want you to know, or at least the public to know, that there was a good deal of discussion previously on this topic.
Anyone else? If not, I'll ask the city clerk to please take the roll call.
Kasserag.
Aye.
Maliki.
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Mayor Burns.
Aye. With 11 votes in the affirmative, 0 votes in the negative, and 0 older persons absent, ordinance 2025-15 has been approved. Item G, consider resolution 2025-77, authorizing a professional services agreement with JLD Consulting Group, LLC. Bowering makes the motion. Ooh. Paschke gets the second. Ms. Dawkins?
Okay, so local governments often find it advantageous to retain outside paid representation for legislative monitoring and consulting, given the number of bills introduced in any given legislative session and the potential impact any given legislation may have directly on the municipality. The city currently engages JLD Consulting Group, LLC, to serve this purpose since 2024 under a month-to-month agreement. For the City Council's consideration is a resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute a new professional services agreement with JLD Consulting Group, LLC, for a term coinciding with the end of the mayor's term and legislative session, with a 30-day termination clause in an amount not to exceed $5,500 a month for the term of the agreement. I would note that this is the same amount currently paid under the month-to-month agreement. I'm happy to answer any additional questions, or I'm sure the mayor will as well.
Questions are for the city administrator? Seeing none, sensing none. Roll call vote, city clerk.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
With a vote of 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 absent, Resolution 2025-77 has been approved. Our final item under Section 10 is item 10H. Consider workers' compensation settlement agreement in the amount of $32,500 as full and final settlement for the claim of Trevor Rogers. Is there a motion? Paschke makes the motion, Bowering makes the second. No comments necessary. All of us are well aware of this issue. With that, a roll call vote is in order. City Clerk?
Paschke?
Aye.
Reineke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Kasserag?
Aye.
Maliki?
Aye.
Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
With 10 votes in the affirmative, 0 votes in the negative, and 0 older persons absent, the matter has been approved unanimously. We jump to public comment. We invite anyone joining us tonight to join us at the podium, share with us your thoughts, ask your questions. It's our chance to listen, your chance to speak. We turn it over to the 2 folks who raised their hands at the same time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Paula
Hello.
Schmidt with the Geneva Chamber of Commerce. I think I've met most of you already. What I wanted to do is come up to you today and give you a, excuse me, thank you for everything that you did for us for Swedish Days, from Public Works, Fire, Police. Everything went so smoothly and so safely that we appreciate everything that was done by the city. The other thing I wanted to do is say thank you for our volunteers. Not one volunteer missed a session, which was a miracle because of the excruciating heat. And then we did, I think I see quite a few of our volunteers who are sitting right here in front of me this year. I want to thank all the alderpersons that came out and actually enjoyed the Swedish Days Festival with us and with the volunteer portion of it. We appreciate what you do, and we thank you so much for coming out and actually seeing what's going on with Swedish Days and enjoying that and seeing how the people enjoy it. And so sorry about the weather. I wish I could have done something better with that. The other thing, I just want a couple things that are coming up. We have the car show starting on Thursday. We have our art show coming up on July 26th, 27th. We have a very special and different project that we're doing this year. We are creating a paint-by-number mural where it has all the landmarks of Geneva on it. We are doing a sign-up genius where we can get companies and groups to come in and paint by number for an hour or two and finish that up during the art fair. It will stay up through the months after Festival of the Vine so that people can keep enjoying that. It's going to be done at Dodson Place. A quick thank you to Hogan Construction. They were wonderful and will be putting up the mural for us, and they have also paid for all the supplies for it. So we're very excited to do this. We had a lot of people help to sponsor it, and we need people to paint. So if you want to go online and just find some time, get a group or your company to come on out and just do some painting, it's going to be a neat project. Anything else that you can think of, Michael?
There was so much on the list that there was no way I was going to pull that off. I had to bring help. The only thing I would like to add is there are actually people watching this program. We had 2 volunteers at Swedish Days, having watched the episode just before Swedish Days when I called out and asked for volunteers. So people are out there paying attention, watching. It does work. Thank you to everybody in the community who helped make Swedish Days possible.
Thanks.
Anyone else? New business from the dais. Any city council member care to share anything for the benefit of us and the community? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Marks. All in favor of adjourning indicate by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned. We'll take just a moment while the distinguished and newly elected alderperson Larry Furnish takes the chair.
I want to call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting for tonight, Monday, July 7th. My name is Larry Furnish. I'm 3rd Ward Alderman, and I'll be chairing the meeting tonight. So call to order for the attendance. I just want to say everybody is here at the meeting tonight. I don't think we need to take a roll call. Good? Okay. We'll go through the items pretty quick. The first thing here is to approve the Committee of the Whole minutes from June 16th, 2025, Special Committee of the Whole minutes from May 12th, 2025, and Special Committee of the Whole minutes from June 23rd, 2025. Do we have a motion? Did you get that? And a second? Any questions? Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None opposed. So the minutes have been approved, 100%. Get to the items of business. Item A, consider a draft resolution authorizing agreement with all city management for crossing guard services. Do we have a motion? Second? Mrs. Dawkins, do you want to add anything?
Sure. So the City of Geneva provides crossing guard services to CUSD number 304 schools within our corporate limits. We currently have 6 crossing guards and 1 alternate crossing guard. They are a combination of independent contractors and City of Geneva employees. The management and staffing of the crossing guard program has become increasingly challenging for the police department. When a school crossing guard is unavailable, the crossing is covered either by a community service officer or a police officer. This occurred more than 30 times during the last school year. An RFP was utilized to obtain proposals for a third-party vendor to take over the management of the crossing guard program. 2 vendors submitted proposals, and after reviewing the submitted proposals, while they were substantially similar, all city management services provided for the lower cost over the proposed 3-year period of time. All city management meets all requirements, and they have made it a priority to retain the current school crossing guards as we transition. This agreement is proposed for 3 years, each billed annually dependent upon budget considerations and satisfactory performance within each year. I do have with us this evening Chief Passarelli, if you have any additional questions.
Any questions? On the resolution? Paschke.
Thank you. So I appreciate some of the answers that we did get in the packet today and other questions that I had asked. I just wanted to verify the length of the shifts and the total hours worked, because there were 2 very different answers given in the answers. One said it was 2-hour shifts and one said it was an hour a day for 5 hours a week. So is it?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry. They are an hour a day, so it's a half hour in the morning, half hour in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Are all of the, you said it's a mix of independent contractors and city employees. Are all of the newer hires, is the city's goal only to have independent contractors?
Yes.
If we weren't to do this?
Correct.
Okay. And did the contractor say what they would pay compared to what we're?
They would pay $1 more for,
$1 more.
so $23.50 per hour as compared to $22.50 per hour.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I have.
Okay.
I guess I'm not certain that I support this. I think, in considering the long-term costs of this, because when we enter a contract for services like this, the odds of ever exiting that contract are slim to none. So, this is easily $1 million in 20 years that we're going to be spending having somebody from out of state manage 6 people for an hour a day. Here, I'm just not convinced. So that's all I have.
Alderman Boeing?
Thank you. So I have a few questions. So I'm sympathetic to the concern. It does seem like there's an issue, and in general, I take seriously that we stay up here and management is down here. That being said, I feel like when we start to privatize something like this, I don't know. I take a second look, or I want to take a pause there. I guess I was curious why we've only had one alternate, if you're able to answer that. I don't know if you know that level of operations.
Yeah, when we have advertised for the position, when we've needed alternates, we haven't gotten anybody to apply for it. So the only reason we have an alternate now is she actually works in St. Charles as well, so she's not able to man a crossing full-time for us.
Okay.
And so she was willing to be an alternate and is able to pick up some time.
Okay.
But like I said, we've run these ads before, and we just don't get anyone interested in being an alternate.
So I noticed that the compensation, and again, I appreciate the answers to the questions that were submitted. I noticed that the compensation went up in 2021. Have we tried increasing the compensation again? Because again, while it seems nominally like a decent hourly rate for an hour of work a day, it's not a lot of money, and especially if they're 1099s, that's before taxes, and they're having to cover their whole FICA. So that is, a lot less really for what they're taking home. And this would essentially, even if you factor in like the hour or so a week, it seems like it takes of PD staff time to manage payroll and other administrative aspects of this. So like, I think that would bring, sorry, I'm not going to remember, and I'm on the wrong page in the packet, but I think that, so this basically doubles the cost to the city to manage these 7 people. And I guess I was curious if we had considered increasing the compensation, say to like $30 an hour, or have a flat rate for the day. $41.90 was the per hour.
For the contractor.
So that's what they would charge us, but that's
Correct.
not what they're paying the actual workers. So again, it's out of state. I'd prefer to try to keep it local, and if possible, I'd prefer to like pay the actual people interfacing with our community more, rather than sending a lot of money to what I'm sure is a very competent organization. It seems like they manage this for huge municipalities and like all of Marin County, and I was looking through their applications. So I have no doubt that they are expert at what they're doing, but I guess if we're having trouble recruiting, it seems to me like increasing the compensation by $1 an hour, which is effectively their strategy. I looked at their approach to recruitment, and it seemed pretty standard, like advertise. And again, I do understand just taking it off of PD's shoulders, but I guess so that's a lot of background, but now I will actually give you a question. Have we thought about trying to split the difference and like increase compensation and try to recruit more alternates so that there is backup when people call out?
Yeah, we had not looked at that.
Okay, is that, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No,
Is that something you might be willing to consider, or?
I mean, I would think so. I mean,
Okay.
And I just want to add, though, we're focusing on the recruitment and the burden of the recruitment. The other issue is also transferring the risk and the liability associated with this position. So
Okay.
just keep that in mind, that it's not just about recruitment and allowing police officers to be police officers, but it's the workers' comp, it's any kind of injury and all of that, that also we would be transferring that liability.
Okay, so for 1099s, we're also assuming, do we have a
For that,
monetary
not for the
value?
employees, we would cover. The other ones are independent contractors, and I think the chief has indicated in the past that the independent contractors, that's one of the things that concerns them, because
Uh-huh.
any injury would be on them.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so I do hear that concern. While I do also want police officers to get to do other things, I know we don't have a huge force and there's always plenty for them to do. I do see some benefit in them interfacing with the community in this way at times, probably not to this degree. It seems like, pedestrian safety is really, really important. And also seeing officers out and about in the community, I think, is helpful overall. That does not mean I'm not sensitive to the underlying issue. I guess I have a hard time. So I guess one issue is understanding the liability risk to the city, where the city to undertake some of that cost. And so is that one of the primary reasons that we've been looking to take people on as 1099s, as independent contractors? Is so we're not
Correct.
taking on the liability?
Yeah, the idea when we started with independent contractors for crossing guards started in 2010, and the idea was to transition everybody off to that. We thought that we would have a little bit of turnover with some of our crossing guards who are still with us, and we're grateful for that. But so this is a process that's actually been in effect for quite some period of time, looking to transition to that, to either contracting it all out or moving everybody to independent contractor.
Can we get a little more background on that? Why,
Again,
what was there a
mostly
monetary
the
cost?
the precipitating factor had to do with risk management.
Okay, so that wasn't in the packet. I mean, I think that's a valid consideration, but I guess if that's one of the motivating factors for this, and it's been considered for so long, I would have appreciated knowing more about that and having time to ask questions about that. I don't want to put you on the spot to give a whole lot of detail on that without more time, but I guess I'm reluctant to move forward with this for reasons very similar to what Alderperson Paschke expressed. I think, and it sounds like outsourcing it in the long term is the goal. I'm not sure that's the right thing for the city. I'm open to being persuaded, but I guess I would like to have more time to be able to ask more questions and understand more about the risk and the risk management and why this is the right option. Again, without some of those details, it feels like it just feels hard for me to evaluate if this is really the most cost-effective way to manage that risk. As I said, my preference would be to try to increase compensation for people doing this work, as opposed to sending it to a private corporation. Then I think more of it staying in our community. So let's see if I have other questions. Did we ask for 3 years, or was that their standard contract?
We asked for that.
We asked for that,
Yes.
okay. Okay, that's all I have for now, but as I said, I'd prefer to have more time to consider this. Otherwise, I don't think I can support it. Thank you.
Comments from Alder Coulsberg?
Thank you. I guess it's a point of clarification, but I'm looking at the contract, $41.90 an hour, and minimum hours per shift, 2.
Right.
Now we have, you're saying 1, right? 2
Right.
half-hour shifts.
Correct.
So how does that, I guess, how does that work?
Yeah, their intent was, they've found through managing these contracts, that if they're not paying for 2 hours, they're not getting the good recruitment that they're looking for. So that is part of that 4190. That includes an on-site local manager, and that includes their pay, and then it includes for 2 hours instead of 1 hour that we're paying.
Oh,
them now.
okay, I see. It says daily rate or hourly rate.
Correct.
And they
Yes.
didn't indicate which one.
Right, right.
But you're saying that's the daily rate?
That's the daily rate, correct.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yep.
Per intersection or
Correct.
whatever.
Yep, for the 6.
Can that be clarified for just the contract terms for the next meeting?
Yeah, so the contract that you have in your packet is the draft that would have to be, vetted out through our attorneys and make sure that we have all of
Okay.
the appropriate language and all, but we wanted, before we expend time on all of that, we wanted to make sure this is
Sure,
the
that makes sense.
direction we're heading.
Absolutely. I guess I don't know how to say this nice, chief, but I'm just gonna say it. I've been out there and it's, for like walk to school day. And I get out there at 7:30 and nobody's there. That's early. School starts at approximately 8 o'clock.
Right.
And so we're really talking about 20 minutes a day. And so I guess I'm wondering how much of a hardship is that for a police officer on duty to go to that intersection and provide those services for 20 to 30 minutes?
Sure. It's not a hardship. I mean, they can do that without issue. The biggest challenge is our morning rush hour and our afternoon rush hour are the busiest. That's when the accidents come in. That's when the other calls for service come in. And you're taking an officer now out of that rotation. So as an example, if it were Western Avenue crossing, that patrol beat, not that it's unmanned, but the primary unit is no longer available to handle calls. So another unit would have to come from somewhere else and handle anything that happens in that area, whether it be an accident at Randall and Fargo or whatever it might be. So again, not a hardship, it just takes officers away from those other things, which can increase response time and those sort of issues.
I think in maybe the executive summary, you had mentioned it happened, I think, 36 times in the last year.
And the
something.
questions, in the summary it's in there, and then if you saw on the questions that were posted earlier today, you did what, over the year?
Yeah,
There was
correct.
104 times that had to be covered, so
Yes.
50, some of those were covered by officers, and the other 46 were covered by the alternate.
Correct, yeah, 56 covered by the officers, 48 by the alternate crossing
So
guard. So 104 total crossings that had to be covered by the PD last year.
So out of those, how many, is there a way of determining how many actually caused a conflict with more important calls that, like you said, that this is taking them away from?
I'd have to do a lot of research. to
Yeah,
find
it's
it.
probably not
Yeah,
worth it
I'd
for
have
a
to go back
crossing
and
guard.
look at the
I
CAD.
get it.
Yeah,
So you felt like it was a lot, though?
it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
and only, obviously, being upstairs, those phone calls come in, Linda's trying to get the coverage, we're sending officers out. And again, they do it. I mean, like you had said, pedestrian safety is one of their functions. The difference is when we have, in the morning, we have the officers try and monitor the crossings in a squad car so they could go make a traffic stop if they see a violation. When they're the ones out there holding the stop sign, they
Yeah.
can't do that, so.
I guess I totally get that. I'm still stuck on this hourly daily rate, because if they're paying $23.50 and they're paying somebody minimum 2 hours a day, that can't be less than their hourly rate or their daily rate that they're charging us. Unless
Yeah, I can get some clarification on that.
they've
for
got
sure.
some magic somewhere in there. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying, sure.
So it seems, I read it as an hourly rate, although I could see absolutely how I misread it, or I missed the options there.
Right.
But if it were $41.90 per hour, minimum 2 hours, that would probably change my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm happy to vote for this as is, knowing, of course, you guys have it right, so that it would be as you said and further defined in the contract, so. I'm in support of it with that caveat. Thank you. We definitely want to make your guys' job easier and more effective. And this seems like an easy way to do it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions from Alderman Licky? Thank you, Chair.
So the 50 grand per year that was in the meeting minutes, does that include the police department's time as well, or is that what we're paying just the guards?
Just the crossing guards, that's not the PD time.
That's not the PD time?
Correct.
Okay, so adding up the PD time and everything, that we might be getting closer to their yearly estimate here of not to exceed $90,000 then, right?
It would not be that close. I mean, most of those are on-duty time.
Okay.
Unless it's the middle school, which is
Sure.
after 3 o'clock.
Sure.
So I don't think it would come close to making up that difference.
Okay. So, back to the conversations, I guess, that we've previously had with the school district on this. Crossing guards are the city's responsibility by ordinance, by just because it's historically how it's been covered by us and?
Yes.
Yeah, as far as I
Historically.
understand, it's historical and it's not unusual. Most
Sure.
communities are the ones who are providing the crossing guards for the school districts.
Okay, most but not all?
I assume there are some that don't, but historically, that's the way it's been
Sure.
done because it's the streets, it's a public safety matter, and so
Okay.
they defer to the municipality.
I'm just interested in the resistance, I mean.
They don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Well, sure, I mean, right, so they don't want to pay, so now, I mean, my gut's telling me that we're having trouble with recruitment, probably for two reasons, pay, and it's, inconvenient for somebody to go out that, run out of their house for 20 minutes in the morning, inconvenient to go out in the afternoon. And now we're making these people 1099 employees to transfer all the risk and stuff like that, and make them do all the extra paperwork and whatnot to, so I'm just, I guess, so if we go with the contract, we're gonna be close to double, paying double when we are now. So I don't know if the schools, take that into consideration, the district or not, and just say, hey, either way, residents are gonna pay, but I mean, when it comes to resources, school, our district has more resources than we do, not only financially, but also, I think, staff-wise too, so they have a lot of people helping out kids and stuff like that, getting out of the cars at the parking lots in the morning, but, I think if anybody else wants to chime in too, I'm right now, I'm right in the middle on yes or no on this, so I'll yield.
Alderman Kilberg, then Paskey.
As we look at this topic, I think it's important to remember that our children are probably our most prized possession. And I guess as we look at this, and I'm somewhat familiar with this topic, and I tend to agree with the lady's comments, that if you notice, Geneva has maintained its own bus drivers. There were efforts over the years to follow the route of a couple of our neighboring districts to go to privatize that service. And there was pushback from the community because they wanted people that they knew, that had lived in the district, that they were familiar with, and that they maintained a level of control, a greater control. And I think, to agree with you to somewhat, I think where you were headed is maybe we need to explore a higher salary and maintain it and see what we might attract before we go this route necessarily. And I guess my other question would be, as far as the background check piece, how is that going to be executed?
They handle that all through their resources with their company, and that would now no longer be the responsibility of the police department or the city.
Okay. Are we comfortable with that?
Yeah, based on what they have in there and the systems that they use, it seems to be very thorough.
Okay. Anyhow, that's my 2 bits, I guess, on this, but I guess I have some reservations. I like people that live in the neighborhood, that the parents that are walking their children to school know who that crossing guard is familiar with them, and that there's I think there's a level of safety and security involved with it. And again, I would be in favor of paying them more to see what we might attract. So I reserve my vote on this for right now.
Oh, here we go. Alderman Mayor.
Hi, Chief.
Hi.
I've been waffling about this all day. I also feel like having members of the community as our crossing guards, and we know them and our neighbors, is really critical to that safety and security that we feel and who's crossing our children. I think that there's some crossing guard positions that are more difficult than others, and I think that you've seen some pretty bad call-out rates that maybe could be addressed in an incentive to the crossing guards, that if they don't have call-offs that are inconvenient or not planned in a certain amount of time, that they get a bonus or they get some sort of incentive agreement to do that. Because when you only get, I mean, I'm still not clear if it's $40 a day or $22 a day that they get as take-home pay. But when that's all you're getting, it is kind of a less, if you don't feel good and it's 20 degrees out, there's a real incentive to call off. So I think that the climate that we live in, the conditions that they work in, I could see paying them more for what they do for the community. And I don't think we'd be able to retract ourselves from this type of agreement if we go forward with this, to say then that you have to start the administrative burden to take it on, I think would be a lot, and I don't see that happening. So I'm mostly inclined to say we should give it another year of you guys struggling with it, I'm sorry, but that we should keep what we're doing and try to come up with some good ways to incentivize, maybe do a campaign that gets people to notice the stopping locations for kids better, especially on Viking Boulevard, maybe. That seems a very dangerous intersection. That's all I got. Thank you.
Alderman Pesci.
Thank you. So the math is mathing. The 4190 does come out to paying them the 6 guards 23 hours per hour for 2 hours every day for that. That's what I got when anyway, my question was actually, yeah, because then there's the overage for the organization. But my question was about the $22 an hour that they're currently making.
Mm-hmm.
If they're working an hour a day, 180 days for 6 of them, that comes out much lower than 50,000 for me. So I'm curious what the overhead is on that. Unless I'm not doing that right.
Yeah, whether it's the 4 that are the city employees that are.
So it's the city employee costs that are bumping that up more than double? Or
So yeah, you have about 20,000, I didn't bring it up with me, but you have to pay FICA, Medicare, workers' comp, all on top of the hourly wage.
So it's over 20,000.
So when you add that together, I ran the numbers for last year and it came right out at about $48,624.15, give or take, something like that.
That's, yeah.
Something like that. I just rounded it up to 50,000.
Any other questions or comments? We'll go Valerie, please.
So I guess in addition to, so I would like, regardless of, I guess, what happens tonight, I would like to request more information on the risk management side of things. I think that there's a cost breakdown to that, but then also, like, I'm curious how many claims we've had for crossing guards, because that's a factor as well. I mean, I know the insurance covers some of that, or maybe most of that, but obviously there's staff time involved in that as well. So I'm curious what the accident rate is, or if there have been any claims made. I guess it seems like another in-between measure, in addition to paying them more, might be considering like hiring some kind of recruitment coordinator, which I imagine might be possible for some lesser cost than $50,000, or sorry, $40,000. I guess I would like someone to explain to me, how do you get to a daily cost of 41 something if they're getting paid $23.50 an hour and they're working for 2 hours?
Yeah,
'Cause
I'll get
23
clarification
okay,
on that for
okay,
you.
because I can't make that math work, because 23.50 times 2 is 47. So anyway, there's maybe something I'm missing there, but then I guess this is going a little bit far afield, but I had imagined, in my understanding of what our inclusion engagement staffer, I know they're only part-time, but I had imagined that part of what they were going to be doing was thinking about recruitment and retainment of employees. And I wonder if this is like a point of overlap potentially, and/or if we were going to need more hours, you know, do we have any part-time employees who might be interested in more hours, who might be able to help oversee some of the administrative burden? I mean, I guess I'd like to keep more of it in-house if possible. I am sympathetic to the hassles, and that does seem like a lot of call-outs. I mean, it's, you know, a lot of days of school,
Yes.
but that's still a pretty high call-out rate, and I certainly would not want that to continue. But I guess I think that there are additional things that could be tried out, like hiring extra alternates, offering higher wages, offering incentives for not missing days, et cetera. And I guess I'd like to see us explore those before we privatize. Thanks.
Alderman Marks?
You know, there seems to be a lot of questions that people want clarified, so I'm going to make a motion to table this until June 21st, Committee of the Whole meeting. July, I'm sorry, July.
Do we want to table it, or do we want to just, as was said earlier, revisit?
Mr. Chairman, the motion to table, I don't believe is debatable.
Well, and the motion table takes it off and it doesn't come back. It's a motion to postpone.
Okay, motion to
To a
postpone.
date certain.
To a date certain.
Okay. I want to make sure that we understand the timing for when the school starts. So I think that was one of the reasons it was being brought forward now.
Yeah, because it's August,
So,
second week of
any
August.
other questions?
Administrator Dawkins, can you elaborate on the timing? Like, what are the timing constraints for considering this contract?
Maybe two.
So if they got it first, you made the motion, so they need to take a second. To postpone.
Postpone until July 21st.
To a date certain, right.
July
There's-
21st, next Committee of the Whole.
Okay, so we have a motion to postpone until the next meeting, July
July 21st.
July 21st. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Is this debatable?
It is, and it should be a voice.
Okay.
I'm sorry, a
Roll
roll,
call.
yeah.
Okay.
May I make a
Okay,
comment
go ahead.
on the motion? I think we can get our answers. I understand what Stephanie just said. I think the answers will become clear next week, and we can, or the 21st, and we can vote it up or down then. I don't think it's that complicated that we need to go through a whole nother committee of the whole and then to city council all to establish this. So that's my only comment on the motion, is that I think we can take care of this in due time without postponing. Thank you.
So, Alderman Paschke.
I understand that. I also think it's probably already past that point because July 21st, voting on it, school starts 3 weeks after that. Anyway, it's fine. We can get our answers by the 21st, but it's already late.
Alderman Browning.
Could I ask Administrator Dawkins to clarify what the parameters are of this contract and the timing of the school year?
Yeah, I believe it's August 23rd, I think is the start,
22nd.
or 22nd.
sorry, so is there anything in the contract that specifies when it would need to be ratified by, or do we have a lead time?
It sounds like
Thing from
since they
them?
would retain our current crossing guards,
Mhm.
that would be pretty seamless to start.
Mhm.
But it would again be negotiating that agreement and making sure that city attorney is comfortable with what's in there and start time. So it was, the goal was to make sure this transition started as we went into the school year.
Well, I have a question on the main motion, but I will hold on to that. Thank you.
It's gone. We're doing, now you ask if any comments and then.
Yeah, any more comments, questions on the motion to move the discussion out to July 21? Take a roll call.
All right, Marks?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Palmquist?
Aye.
Paschke?
Aye.
Reinecke?
Aye.
Bowering?
Aye.
Furnish?
Aye.
Kilberg?
Aye.
Katsarag?
We're voting to keep this on the committee of whole.
Yeah.
Nay.
And Malachi?
Aye.
9 to 1.
So we're going to push this off. It passed, 100% votes.
9 to 1.
9 to 1.
To July 21.
July 20, it's pushed out to July 21 meeting. Okay, so my first official piece of business went down the drain, but that's fine.
Ain't dead yet.
Item B, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Approve a resolution authorizing an economic incentive agreement by and between the City of Geneva and Nick and Jim Nicole for 427 and 421 East State Street, Honeyburg.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a
Second.
motion, we have a second. We have any questions, comments?
Would you like me to just give you a quick?
Yes, give us the update.
Sure. So the owners of Briganato, Nick and Jim Nicolau, aim to launch a new restaurant concept at 427 East State within TIP 2. Honeybird will be a takeout, sit-down style restaurant. A special use and an ARPA grant were approved for the project in 2024. And during those discussions, we noted that the owners were seeking additional TIP assistance due to the high cost of converting the space to a restaurant use. The TIF 2 future fund balance is difficult to predict as it is dependent on for financing of the East State Street Road construction project. As such, the draft incentive agreement contemplates reimbursement of a portion of the redevelopment costs with sales tax or TIF increment, depending upon resources available as determined each budget year. The total reimbursable amount is $135,883. This is 19% of the total estimated retrofitting cost of $700,696, which was the low estimate. The ratio of private to public investment does not include the ARPA grant amount, which was $38,608, or property acquisition costs, $612.49. With these considerations, the ratio of public assistance shifts to 13% of the total project cost. The proposed level of public financing assistance is consistent with past practices for similar projects. The project meets several TIF and city goals, and its completion will add to the business offerings available east of the Fox River. With us this evening, we do have Director Timoshenko, and we also have Jimmy and Nick Nicolau here to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments? Alderman Kilberg?
I think this family enterprise has been, they've had a very successful run with Riganatos, and I have no doubt that Honeybird will be just as successful. Will generate a lot of sales tax revenue for the city, and I'm optimistic that this project will move forward at a rapid pace and would be in business sometime in the near future. So again, my wholehearted support for this endeavor.
Thank you. Alderman Bowring?
I just wanted to thank the applicant and our staff for working together to find a way to bridge this gap and to bring more business and opportunities to Geneva. I think this benefits the East State Street corridor as well as Geneva as a whole. So I'm excited to see this project going forward, and I think this is a smart and good use for TIF2. I think it's a good way to set it up so that there's flexibility depending on how the road reconstruction goes and how much of the money goes to that. So I just wanted to thank all of our staff who worked on it, and also the business owners. Good luck. I'm excited.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Okay, we're going to take we can do a voice vote on this for item B. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item B has been passed by 100% approval. First item approved. I love this. Third thing, C, consideration of draft resolution authorizing an execution of a contract with Vaughn's Electric, Inc. in the amount of $235,825 for the replacement generator at the police department.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second.
Okay, so
Mrs. Duckins?
sure. The existing emergency backup generator is approximately 50 years old and past the end of its serviceable life. In addition to backing up critical police systems, the generator also provides emergency backup for the city's fiber internet network hardware, which supports many local government agencies in addition to the city. A public bid was held for the replacement in May, and 4 viable bids were submitted, the lowest from Vaughn's Electric, Inc. of St. Charles. The scope of the bid has been reviewed with Vaughn's, and they have been a preferred vendor for the city for many years. The fiscal year 26 state-approved budget included a $250,000 grant to be issued to the City of Geneva for expenses associated with public safety and economic development. We would be earmarking this grant to offset, or actually to cover, the costs associated with this generator purchase and installment. If you have any additional questions, I am happy to answer those for you.
Alderman Christopher.
Just one simple one. Obviously, we need to do this. Is this generator, can it move in the future?
Yes, we made sure that it can be moved or installed elsewhere so that we're not expending these funds for a building that hopefully won't be there.
Exactly.
Won't be there for 50 years like the last generator.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? For a vote, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Against, say nay. The motion has passed unanimously. Item D, consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of a professional service agreement with, is that Bodwe? WBK Engineering to provide construction oversight for public improvements. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second? A second? Over here.
Okay.
Okay, Mrs. Dawkins.
So the fiscal year 26 budget includes funds within the capital budget to provide engineering services, using outside consultants to assist staff due to time constraints, expertise, or the size of the project exceeding staff resources. The Gateway Business Center will have over $6 million in public improvements installed. In order to meet the aggressive construction schedule proposed and to ensure the expertise of the inspection, staff secured a professional engineering and construction oversight contractor. In accordance with city code, staff published a proposal request, reviewed, interviewed, selected, and negotiated a contract that best served the needs of the city. Staff anticipated a 3-year completion and therefore secured costs through April 2028, with the following years requiring approval pending budget authorization. Attached for your review in the packet was a proposal from Bodwe WBK Engineering, providing part-time as-needed construction oversight. We anticipate an average of 20 hours of on-site oversight on a weekly basis. And if you have additional questions, we do have Director Babica here, as well as a representative from WBK.
Any questions or comments? For the vote, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And any negatives say nay. Okay, so the motion is unanimous. Next item, item E, consider draft resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of agreement with MILF Geneva Park-J LLC and MIF Geneva Park-M LLC to extend water main improvements in accordance with the pipeline crossing agreement dated from December 20, 2021. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Mrs. Dawkins.
Okay, so in December 2021, the City of Geneva secured a pipeline crossing agreement with the Union Pacific Railroad to allow for future extension of water utilities for the Southeast Area Master Plan area. The area has matured into the Gateway Business Center, currently under development by MWI. In order to extend water utility service to that area, MWI has agreed to install the necessary improvements and comply with the requirements as specified by the pipeline agreement. The MOA for your consideration provides the necessary framework to accomplish this task. Again, we have Director Babica, who would be happy to answer any additional questions.
Any questions or comments? Ready to vote? Those who approve, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. So the motion is unanimous. Item F, consider draft resolution authorizing approval of a proposal from Associated Technical Services LTD for a water system leak detection and location survey in the amount not to exceed $35,000. Do we have a motion? And a second.
Okay.
Mrs. Dawkins.
So the fiscal year 26 budget has funds allocated for a water distribution system leak survey. The fiscal year 25 leak survey was approved on June 3rd, 2024 via Resolution 2024-60 with a second and third year pricing dependent upon City Council approval. Staff is recommending the City Council approve the second year pricing by Associated Technical Services LTD. The fee is incentive-based for the number of leaks found. For comparison, in fiscal year 25, ATS discovered 32 leaks with an estimated loss of 97,120 gallons per day. If you have specific questions, we have with us this evening Superintendent Van Gescam.
Alderman Bowring.
I just wanted to say I'm glad we're doing this, and that's a lot of water, and yeah, good job.
Okay, thank you.
Good comment. Any other comments, questions? Alderman Malicki.
Just a quick question, Superintendent. So the leaks, when they find the leaks, this is everywhere in the system, including from like the B box to the property owner's home?
Correct.
For residential use?
Yes.
How do those get fixed then or addressed?
If it's on the homeowner side, then I will send a letter to the property owner stating that they have 30 days to correct the
Okay.
leak.
Hey, just I'm just learning, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also sometimes when they're out there finding the leak, the homeowner's out there with them.
Sure.
And so at that point in time, they'll point it out, and then they would want to fix it anyway.
Yeah, I gotcha. And that's just up to them, and that's fine. So the actual system itself, like just the technology behind it, how do they do it? Real quick?
It's acoustical testing, so they will
Okay.
put a device on, let's say, a fire hydrant, and then a valve, let's say 400 feet away.
Sure.
And then the sound waves that will identify a leak in that area, and then they will pinpoint it further down with additional equipment and get it down to within a couple of feet, and then my staff will go out there and make the repair.
Excellent. Fascinating. No, yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? For the vote, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. So we had a unanimous motion and it passed. Anyway, item G. Wow, this is an exciting one. Consider draft resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2026 John Deere 624P 4WD, four-wheel drive probably, loader from Westside Tractor in an amount not to exceed $273,062.26.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
So the fiscal year 26 budget includes funds allocated for the replacement of a 2001 John Deere wheel loader. The current loader has approximately 8,000 hours and is beyond its useful life. The wheel loader is used for snow and ice operations, for moving materials, and for emergency services such as storm damage. The city budgeted $275,000 to replace the wheel loader. The proposed loader will be purchased from Westside Tractor and Lyle using the joint purchasing Sourcewell contract for, as mentioned, 200, and actually we have two different numbers, Oh, sorry. My apologies. The wheel loader is $257,176, and then the sectional plow will be purchased under the same contract for $15,961.50, which is a total purchase price of the $273,062.26. If you have specific questions about what a wheel loader is, we do have Superintendent Javid with us this evening, and he'll be happy to answer those.
Any questions or comments? Oh, yeah. Alderman Bowery?
I just wanted to say I'm glad to see that you don't have to get up. The delivery time seems to be coming down significantly, so we're putting this in, and it looks like we're expecting to get it in October. So that's fantastic and coming in under budget. So glad we're able to purchase these very necessary tools. Thank you.
Any other, there we go. Alderman Peschke?
I would like an explanation of what a wheel loader is. Thank you.
Alderman Malicki, anything? Your mic's on. Okay.
So the wheel loader is a very important piece of equipment, especially in snow and ice operations. It is the actual equipment that is used to take the salt out of our dome and lift it high enough to load it into our plow trucks. In addition to that, the wheel loaders also move heavy equipment. So as it states, for storm damage or anything of that nature, we could load a lot of things in the bucket of that loader. So think of any construction site, big wheels, big bucket on the front, can lift things pretty high.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions? Alderman Kilburg.
This purchase will help sustain the John Deere Open in Silvis, Illinois. It'll help in sustaining that golf tournament, which just completed yesterday. So we're doing our part for an Illinois-based company.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you. For a vote, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 100% approval. Item H, consider draft resolution authorizing the purchase of a Falcon 3-ton asphalt recycler and hot box trailer from Midwest Paving Equipment, Inc. Do I have a motion? Mark,
Second.
Second?
Second.
Patchke.
So the fiscal year '26 budget includes $50,000 allocated for the replacement of a 1998 Spalding hot box. The hot box is used to keep asphalt material warm to perform pothole filling and patching. The city received 3 quotes and is recommending the lowest responsible bid from Midwest Paving Equipment Incorporated for $40,066.00. And again, we still have Superintendent Javid with us. And just to clarify, a Falcon asphalt recycler is not a bird. It is a piece of equipment.
Any comments or questions? Alderman Kilburg?
I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Is this piece of equipment really going to be essential once East State Street is completed?
Any other comments and questions?
I thought Public Works might comment on that. Sorry, it wasn't funny.
For the vote, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 100% approved. We're through that list. Time for public comments. Is there anybody who wants to step up, say anything? Looks like no comments. Oh, we do have one. Come up, state your name.
My name is Elaine Hahn.
You have the mic.
Sorry. I'm sorry. My name is Elaine Hahn. I don't know if this is the right platform. I just found out about this committee of the whole meeting a little while ago. So if this is not the right, then just tell me to make an appointment with the mayor or something. So what kind of public comments are, like any kind of public comments or, yeah? Okay. I have a team of people that are working with me, and we are trying to get a wind phone installed somewhere in Geneva, maybe on Park District property or county property, somewhere in Geneva, Do you all know what a wind phone is? I'm sorry, I'm super nervous right now. I'm like gonna pass out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I don't know if you guys heard about wind phone recently in the news, but it's a symbolic tool for dealing with grief. And it's very good for your mental health for any age. Basically, it's just a phone, like a rotary phone, or a slimline or something that has buttons or tactile, and you install it, out in nature somewhere where it's peaceful and where you can have some solitude. And it's just it's not connected to anything, and then you just like as far as like telecommunications, it's not connected to anything, but like maybe it would be mounted to a bench or to a post or something out somewhere in the community. And then people can go there whenever they want, and they just pick up the phone and they can dial their loved one's number and talk and have a conversation, and those words that kind of get carried on the wind, which is like kind of that whole idea behind the wind phone, and that's why it's called that. So my son died when he was 18, and I just kind of heard about this recently, and I thought it would be a nice way to, as a memorial to him, but it doesn't have to be. It could definitely just be like for the people of Geneva. I have a team of about 12 to 14 other people working with me that, giving me ideas and then stuff like that. So we would design it, we would build it with city oversight or park district oversight. We could install it. We haven't quite figured out like the maintenance part yet, if that would be something that would fall to a government entity, or if volunteers would maintain it, because I'm sure, it could fall victim to vandalism just as easily as, anything else. I do have some pictures if you guys want to see like what other communities have done. Well, I have a whole bunch.
Thank you.
And there's a letter to the, kind of explaining it a little bit more on the back. Public speaking is just never really been my forte. Thank you.
You're good. Everything's good.
So it was started in Japan. A Japanese gardener. Does anybody else want kind of built one in his garden to like one. Talked to his cousin that had passed away. But then after the tsunami in 2011, just a lot of people from the community were coming out and using it to help them with their grief, and be able to talk to people that they couldn't talk to anymore, that might have been swept away suddenly. So there is a national registry of wind phones. That's where I got the pictures from. If we went ahead with this project, if you wanted, you could have our location added to the registry. So I mean, it's really would be a gift, like to all.
Thank you
Oh.
for your comments and
Okay.
concerns. Did you need any more information? Got it all? Okay, well, thank you for all the information.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then any other public comments?
Right over here. Yep.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We are going to be passing out some postcards to city council members. I'm just gonna just pass these on down. Just please take two. SPAC will be reaching out to you, actually our chairperson, Melanie Mann, will be reaching out to you in the coming days with some more information about this, but since you're all here tonight, we wanted to get these into your hands. SPAC is planning for its annual event, which will be a community update later this month to be hosted at the Geneva Public Library. And again, with all of SPAC's community engagement efforts, we always strive to make sure that we're getting individuals from the community there, representing all wards, all different communities within our city. So SPAC would like to humbly ask for assistance from City Council. These postcards are intended to be something that you can pass along to individuals in your neighborhood, friends, neighbors, someone down the street, someone who goes to school with your children, just someone you happen to meet or see very often, but anyone who wants to know a little bit more about how's the city do things, what's the vision, where are we going, this is an opportunity to learn about what the strategic plan is and where the city's going. And again, I don't want to steal too much thunder. Kevin Starr will be working on getting a proper media release and blitz in the weeks ahead, so there's going to be a lot more information coming, but you're here tonight, so we wanted to get these in your hand because we would greatly appreciate assistance in getting the word out. Again, City Council is not obligated to attend to this. This is an event that's intended for the general public and our community stakeholders. So happy to answer any questions, but otherwise I know Melanie Mannon, Jim Kafer, our vice chair, they will both be on deck. I'm happy to answer anything you may want to know more about in the weeks ahead. So thank you.
Any other public comments? Any new business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So be it.
Thanks.